What's up, everyone? What's happening? George Balekji here with Boston has entered the chat. But hey, check out the latest episode of Foxborough Rush, wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime. Travis Thomas and myself go through Cooper Kupp and Myles Garrett, both being on the trade block, apparently, both making sense for the Patriots, but we debate on who we'd prefer and in what scenario as well. That's Foxborough Rush, wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime. You could also watch it on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Now, let's get to the chat. All right.
Yeah.
What's up? What's happening? It's Boston has entered the chat. He's Travis Thomas with the presidential wave.
Yeah, or the Miss America.
Yeah, the royal wave.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
I was trying to find that word.
I mean, it all works. Hi,
presidential, royal.
Yeah.
Miss America.
It all works.
Travis Thomas.
It all works.
I'm George Balekji. Boston has entered the chat. T, how we doing, my
I'm
man?
doing good, man. I really am. This Luka stuff we're going to get into. I'm
Gift that
still
keeps
in
on
shock.
giving.
I know. I'm still in shock. I saw Anthony Davis actually had a quote that jumped out to me when asked about the trade recently. He's getting ready to make his debut, and he says, you know what? I'm over it. I'm just ready to play for the Mavs. And I like that attitude.
Yeah.
You could tell he feels a type of way, but he's like, I'm over it. Let's just move forward.
I am not responsible for the GM of the Mavs being a dumbass.
Yes.
I definitely want to stay in LA with Braun.
Yes.
I'm here now.
I'm here now. Let's move forward.
Let's just play ball.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Bag merchant, maybe? Does he diverge back to old Anthony Davis? 50 games a year, Anthony Davis?
No, because I think both he and Luka, and
Something
we'll get
to
into
prove.
Luka, but from an Anthony Davis standpoint and Luka, I think they're both ticked off.
Yeah.
And I think for the Lakers, it's good, obviously, to have Luka ticked off and focused.
Yeah.
But for Anthony Davis, he won't resort back to Pelicans Anthony Davis because he's ticked off.
Yeah.
And so you'll get an extension of the Lakers Anthony Davis. The question is that enough for the Mavericks to win? That's the question.
I feel that. Hey, we got a packed show on the chat for you guys today. We're going to talk Luka. Finally made his first public comment since being traded in the middle of the night.
Yep.
To the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yep.
We get into Super Bowl prop bets. We always have what's trending as always. And we got the ringside report for you guys as well. Athan and Jason always holding it down with the latest on Raw on Netflix.
Yep.
Where were you? Time, place,
Sleep.
mental setting.
Sleep.
When the trade went down?
Sleep. Yes.
Deep sleep?
Yes. REM. Rapid eye
REM.
movement.
REM sleep.
Snoring.
Yeah.
Drooling. I mean, I woke up. I thought Ante was really on top of it. Ante Campbell, our steam producer. You could catch him on Hold My Banner. He was blowing my phone up. Mm-hmm. And so when I saw the news
see my
from my phone first, before I really got into like looking at ESPN and looking at all the publications for news, I wrote back to Ante like fake news.
Bro, it was almost 1 a.m.
That's what I'm saying. I wrote back fake news. And he wrote back, nah, bro, real news. And I was like, let me check this out. And then I saw it was real.
That's how Shams had to basically like preface his tweet.
Yeah.
Hey guys, by the way, didn't get hacked. This is real.
Crazy.
I was at Empire. Great place.
I love that place.
Empire's a great spot.
Love that place.
That night, luckily I was at Empire because otherwise I'd be remming with you as well. I would have been cuddled up right next to you, my man.
Well, I don't think so. We would have both been asleep at different locations. Listen, we have a bromance, but it only goes so far.
It was a nice trip to Austin, Texas.
You're not my type anyways. You're too skinny.
Too short.
I don't discriminate on height, but you are definitely too skinny for my taste.
Oh, man.
We'd have to bulk you up.
Speaking of bulking up, getting skinny, I mean, that was
Now, Luka.
Yes. Let's segue this one.
Now, Luka.
Let's get to it. I mean, the quotes he had out of L.A., him and Rob Pelinka sitting right next to each other.
Yeah.
Golden, Rob Pelinka, GM of the Lakers, going, I got to thank the Mavericks and Nico Harrison for making this happen. Yeah, no Shaq Sherlock, as you like to say.
Yeah.
Because Nico Harrison's dumbass didn't leak it and could have driven up the price.
That's right.
Let's start with Luka. This is what he had to say at his presser today. Basically saying, I saw this coming.
I'm just excited, to be here to start this new journey. And obviously, at some point I knew this was going to happen. But I would say I always take the high road. I had my amazing moments in Dallas with all my teammates, coaches, and most importantly, the fans. They always supported me, and it was an amazing journey.
I always knew something like this would happen.
Okay.
Now, I wonder if he's saying, like, it's NBA, it's business, I'd get traded or sign elsewhere. Or if he saw, like, this Mavericks front office really doesn't like me.
Well, we could have got the answer to that, George, if someone, anyone, had just asked something we call in the business a follow-up. How is it you have a press conference filled with journalists?
National media, too.
Okay? And no one hears that.
Yeah.
And says, oh, that's peculiar. Luka, Travis Thomas, Nesson, just could you elaborate? I actually have another question for you, but I'd love for you to just elaborate on when you say you knew something like this would happen. What do you mean? What did you see? What did you hear? What did you feel, Luka, that made you think this could happen one day? Because none of us in this room or in the world thought this would happen.
Yep.
But no one asked a question.
Those press settings, they sometimes can be tough where they know who's getting the mic like 3 steps ahead. But that's on the person to follow up, no matter who has that question next to your
Whoever
point.
has it next. George, I've seen you strong-arm people for the mic.
Yeah, if I'm in that room, I'm throwing my hand up and I go, let's go back a few answers. You said you always knew something this would happen. Why?
I've seen you do that.
Oh, yeah, and I'm not giving the mic back, too.
That's right.
I would have follow-ups
That's right.
ready to go. I just still can't believe it. You took a 25-year-old generational player, second or third best player in the world, got to the team when he was 18. When he was 20 years old, first time he was ever All-NBA. He was just turned 25 and All-NBA for 5 straight seasons.
That's right.
Took you to the finals.
Finals.
I get it. Well, the defense. After they traded for P.J. Washington and Daniel Gafford, top 3 defense in the NBA, second half of the season.
By the way, that playoff run you alluded to, going to the finals, he played defense.
Yep.
He just ran out of gas in the finals, but he played defense to get him there.
I get it. Get in better shape, put on some muscle, drop some body fat. I'm not denying that. You do not. If your last name is Jokic, Doncic, Atentacumpo, or Wembanyama, you do not trade them.
Right.
That's generational talent. They are tier 1 of NBA superstars. Tier 2, SGA, Tatum, Embiid not anymore, but Embiid's there. You get how it is.
Yeah.
LeBron.
Yeah.
He is. You do not trade away someone like that. That's beyond dreams, a player like Luka.
Right. That's right.
25 years old, can get you 40, 10, and 10 any night. At his size, in a good way. Second, he has a defender on his hip. You're done. You're cooked. He can do anything. A guy that's one of the best late-game shot takers in the NBA, if not the best.
Yeah. And can create his own. They
traded him for a 31-year-old two-way superstar who's coming off his first healthy season in 6 years and a 29-year-old first-round pick. And Max Christie.
It's terrible. It's terrible. You always say do your due diligence in any sport when it comes to trades, free agency, draft. I've hung around.
Shop around.
I've hung around GM George so much that I now think that way too. Shop around, see if you can get the best deal. By the way, De'Aaron Fox, another star in the league, not on Luka's level, but
6
he's a star.
Draft picks.
Yeah. And he held
3 firsts.
By the way, George, he held his franchise's feet to the fire.
Yeah,
I don't want to be here. I want to go to San Antonio.
They lost all leverage, and
they
he still got
something back.
Yeah. It was just like when Nico Harrison's like, I started with a cup of coffee, and I was like, would you? He's like, I don't know. What
was in that coffee?
And then
what was in that coffee?
Yeah. And then a few weeks later, he's like, I give Rob a lot of credit for keeping this quiet. Why do you think he did? Every day he woke up and he goes, I am not dreaming. I am not dreaming. Nico is an idiot. I cannot tell anyone. I wouldn't tell my fiance.
No.
I wouldn't tell my goldfish.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell my nephew. He's 7 months old.
What's his name?
Luka.
Hello.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Greatness. You should get him a Luka Lakers jersey.
Nah.
Just off general principle.
Nick's household.
Oh.
Wouldn't do that.
That's not going to work.
He's growing up on Long Island.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
I just can't get over it. Then, here's Luka. Speaking of Rob Pelinka thinking he's dreaming, here's Luka on what went through his mind when he first got the trade phone call.
I mean, everybody was surprised, so you can imagine how surprised I was. I was almost asleep, so when I got a call, I had to check it was April 1st. I didn't really believe it at first, and it was a bit shock. It was hard moments for me. It was home, so it was really hard moments for me, especially the first day. But as I said, I get to play in the greatest club in the world, and I'm excited for this new journey.
I love calling an NBA franchise a club, by the way. So European.
So European.
Yeah, Rob Pelinka sitting next to him was like, I thought it was April Fool's every day too, bro, for 4 straight weeks.
He fleeced the Mavericks. Can I ask you something? Because I always say, like, you're a bro scientist. Meathead.
Thanks.
Jersey. Gym Tan Laundry. It's what he does.
It's my culture. It's my life. My motto.
Now, I'm
T-shirt
just
time.
looking at the press conference. I know we have another soundbite to do, so maybe we do it after this next bite. But I want to pose a question before we get to it. Is it me? Is it the angle? Is it the sweater? Luka looks in shape to me. He looks pretty svelte to me. I was expecting to see Luka with bacon grease all over his sweater, a couple double chin action, maybe a big gulp or something. No, he looked pretty good to me. I just want to know. Here you go, George. Here's a visual. Now, for our listening audience, I have a pretty good-looking Luka. And, these clothes are fitting him pretty tight. I don't see – he's not wearing some big baggy thing, basically hiding his body. He looks in shape to me. Now, as the resident bro scientist on the show, the resident meathead, I work out, but there are levels to this. George is at a higher level. What do you see with Luka physically, A, just from that, and B, what kind of program are you getting him on? We getting a 4-day split? We getting some chicken breasts? What we getting?
I credit the sweater and all of that.
Okay.
It is when you're in an NBA jersey and everyone sees your arms.
True.
A lot changes.
Okay. What's the bro split?
Does he need to lose body fat and put on some muscle? Yeah. Up the protein intake.
Okay.
Cut down on the processed carbs.
Does he need endurance?
Up the sweet potato intake. Yeah. Needs to get in better shape all around. And that's fine. Think about him barely tapped into like supreme professional conditioning. Second best player in the league.
Is 25 too old for baby fat?
Yes, but that doesn't mean people can't get rid of it.
Okay. All right.
People make life-changing decisions in their 40s, in their 50s,
right,
60s. He's going to be around LeBron, the guy that pours millions of dollars into his body.
Man, who's better to learn from?
This is on the Mavericks all around, that no one can break through to him. Get him in shape, get him in line to be a professional through and through. It's totally on the Mavericks, every bit of it. And here was all the reports that came out about his condition. Here's what Luka had to say to that.
It's a motive. I know it's not true. I know, but it's a motive. Like I say, I came here, one of the biggest clubs in history of sports, so it's a big motive for a long run here.
And also, Tim McMahon, who covers NBA for the ESPN, is also really connected in Dallas, had one report the night of the trade. The Mavs had major concerns about moving forward with Luka Doncic due to his constant conditioning issues and the looming commitment of another Supermax contract extension this summer. Luka was also asked, like, have you ever told the Mavericks you might not sign him? He's like, absolutely not. That's an easy answer.
Wow.
But it was also, and Tim McMahon's reporting what he's told, it was Mavs make the trade and then just tear down Luka's character, And he's like, loyalty's big to me. I take the high road, everything he was saying. The Mavericks absolutely fumbled this. I feel bad for Anthony Davis. No matter what he does, he could win a ring this year. He's not going to be fully embraced by that city.
Okay.
Luka was there. That was the star of the city.
Yeah,
with the Astros winning World Series, with the Cowboys being the Cowboys, Luka Doncic was the guy in Dallas. Why'd I throw the Houston Astros in there? But you get
Texas.
what I'm saying. Yeah, Texas Rangers.
It all blends together. The Rangers. I listen. I hear you on Anthony Davis. I wouldn't care if I was him about the Mavs fans per se. What does he care? What I would care about if I were him is a legacy play.
Yeah.
If he wins a title with the Mavs, all of a sudden now his name, when you talk about all-time great bigs, has to be thrown in there. He won one with LeBron. Then he goes to the Mavs in his crazy trade no one will ever forget. And this is their window. You and I are banging on the Mavs, and rightfully so, but this is the time. They're going for it. They traded for Caleb Martin today. Like, they're going for it.
Yeah.
So if he gets a ring here quickly, I would think his name moves up on the all-time great list in terms of bigs. As far as Luka goes and conditioning, this is the best thing that could happen, is that they slandered you on your way out of the door.
Get motivated.
Oh, my God. He said it, right? It motivates me. That's what you need.
It's a bad breakup.
And all the great players. I think LeBron James is the second greatest basketball player of all time behind Michael Jordan. But all
Here
of
we
them,
go.
no matter your order, Magic, Kobe, LeBron, Mike, whoever, they all had a chip on their shoulder. They all were driven by something, whether it was petty or big, something drove them to madness, right? And to greatness. Luka now has that.
Yeah.
Great for the Lakers.
If you're enjoying the conversation, be sure to tune in Monday through Friday to Boston Has Entered the Chat. We talk all about the latest news and sports in Boston and around the country each and every day. You can find us on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever else you get your podcasts. All right, now let's get to what's trending outside of Luka Doncic world. Cooper Kupp, speaking of trades, announced the Rams plan to trade him this offseason. Cooper Kupp put out a statement himself. TLDR, if you see it on your screen. But he basically said, I'm not about this. I am not for it. I want to finish my career as a Ram. And he goes, but you know what? I'm going to move on. I'm going to be highly motivated. I'm going to be healthy. And I'm going to be better. 32-year-old Cooper Kupp on the trade block.
I'm just laughing because you said TLDR, and I just love the meme that people put out when it's like,
happy for you.
Too long to read.
Or sad. Sorry.
I ain't reading
Sorry
to hear that, or I'm happy. That's what I got from you just now.
TLDR, same
I'm
thing.
not doing this. I'm happy for you, or I'm sorry for your loss. I mean, listen, I kind of feel bad for Cooper Kupp a little bit because he finally got healthy. The Rams,
12 games played,
we were just talking about the Mavericks. Like, the Rams window is even smaller because you don't know. I'm assuming Stafford's coming back, by the way.
Yeah, I think two more years.
Well, but we don't know.
Yep.
But Sean McVay himself is like, yeah, we kind of need to hear from our quarterback sooner than later because Stafford still hasn't committed.
Yeah.
But that window is very short right now for the Rams to win it, and Kupp has a chance now. So if I'm him, and I would think the Rams want to do right, this feels like a Myles Garrett-Browns relationship. Mm-hmm. I think the Rams should do right by Cooper Kupp and trade him to a contender. I hope he gets a chance to prove he can stay healthy, George, number one. And number two, get a chance to win. Because I would just feel bad for him if he ends up in Carolina, right? Which could happen.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I want to see Cooper Kupp continue to play on the biggest stages.
That's where he certainly can make an impact on a contender.
Of course.
Tampa Bay.
I like that.
They got Mike Evans. They have their one. Now at his age, Cooper Kupp.
I like it. It's not as much
number
pressure
two.
to stay healthy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The guy at his ceiling, which was 2021, was one of the best receiving seasons we've ever seen.
That's right.
Over 140 catches, almost 2,000 yards, 16 touchdowns. And since then, he's never had more than 812 receiving yards, never more than 75 receptions, never more than 6 touchdowns, and never played in more than 12 games. He is on the back nine. He's not as reliable or durable as he once was. He's about to be 32, and he carries cap hits of $20 and $19 million a year. It makes sense that the Rams are moving on. To your point, where does he fit? Patriots? Yeah, if you give up a future day 2 pick, and there's a restructure in mind where you don't got to take on all that money, and he could be your wide receiver 2.
Yeah, he's not a 1.
To a T. Higgins?
That's
exactly.
Right. That's
then it
right.
would make sense.
That's right.
But if he wants to go to a contender, Tampa, Kansas City. Get one more ring.
Buffalo.
Philly, Buffalo. Yeah. Philly, he'd be a 3.
Ravens.
Buffalo, he'd be a 1 or a 2.
Ravens.
Would love that. Him and Zay Flowers and Isaiah Likely. Baltimore would be a good fit.
Yeah, it would.
And you get him out of the NFC over to the AFC.
I like the Ravens. That's a really good fit.
Again, a future day 2 pick.
Yeah.
Bring him in. Like Stephon Diggs had a contract torn up.
That's
prove
right.
it deal.
Yeah.
It could be the same thing.
Yeah.
Roger Goodell. Super Bowl time is always fun because there's, the commissioner talks. He was asked about the referees favoring the Chiefs, and his response was, that's a ridiculous theory. For anyone who might take it seriously, but at the end of the day, it's something we always have to continue to work on. How do we make our officiating better? That was Roger Goodell when asked about public perception that referees are favoring the Chiefs. I wonder how a multi-billion-dollar organization makes officiating better. Full-time refs.
Oh.
Eye in the sky.
Oh, what a concept.
Pylon cans.
Oh, you mean technology.
Chip in the football.
Oh.
In tennis, the little zoom in they do at like Wimbledon. It's like, was it in, out? It's like, in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Out. And everyone lives with that. They're like, cool.
Yeah.
Soccer has VR.
Mm-hmm. VAR, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
You got my back.
You know, I
always.
have a soccer kid. I'm all in.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Goalie, too. You need that VAR to be spot on to help him out.
That's right.
Huh. I wonder how we make it better. Do
Yeah,
that.
technology.
Replay on every play.
Yeah. It's easy to do.
Huh.
I just watched an
Ridiculous
interview.
theory.
Elon Musk is talking about putting chips in human beings' brains.
I am good.
Everything can be done under the sun here, NFL. Let's get with it. Of course, Roger Goodell is going to say it's a ridiculous theory because he says everything's a ridiculous theory. I mean, look at what's going on in New Orleans right now with the ownership group. He's defending that, too. It's just Roger Goodell, wherever the money is, George.
Yeah.
And we know Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, Mahomes, the dynasty, Andy Reid. Chiefs are just raking it in right now. Come on, make it rain, baby. So Roger Goodell will defend anything against his cash cow right now. And if you look around, this specific Super Bowl, they continue to lower ticket prices because they're not selling out like years past.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this guy is up here at press conferences talking this nonsense. Mm-hmm. He's talking about an international Super Bowl one day.
Idiot.
No one internationally even cares. We keep trying to force football down their face, and no one cares. Now we're going to play a Super Bowl? Really? It's all about the money. This guy's ridiculous, but we all know that anyways. It's no news here. Roger Goodell defends the NFL. Where haven't we heard this before? Please.
The Saints comments were insane.
Insane.
So AP News covered it, and basically the owner of the Saints, Saints front office, Saints public relations was helping out a church, an archdiocese in New Orleans, cover up like a big pedophilia investigation where the Saints were like, hey, can you take some names off the list so the scandal's not as bad? And then Roger Goodell said, Mrs. Benson and the Saints are very involved in this community. They're great corporate citizens.
They're transparent, he said.
Takes all these matters seriously, particularly for someone with the Catholic Church connections, as she does.
God.
And then you said it. Her transparency of the emails are out there.
Oh, great.
Buddy, she was helping cover up pedophiles.
So she's being honest about it.
Oh, but then she handed over the emails. So great corporate citizen. What does it even mean?
It's because, George,
she's an owner and he's a babysitter for the owners.
This is what he does.
He covers up for 31 billionaires.
Thank you. Football has completely changed. We are going to put flags on these dudes very soon. He did that for the money. It's what Roger Goodell does, man.
Get it? Have a spine. Like, very simple. And this is where you call up the 30 other owners in the league and you go, hey, yeah, I'll defend you guys. When you help out a bunch of pedophiles, that's where I stop.
Yeah.
Like with the horn. That's where he sounds it, right there.
I know.
Benson's, sell it. We're going to do a forced sale. They're going to get sold. And guess what? Your valuations will all go up because the NFL franchise is for sale.
Yeah.
What Josh Harris just did with the Redskins, with the Commanders, guess what? We'll do it with the Saints.
Yep.
Pat Riley.
Riles.
Talking about people getting the bag. Smart on him. He struck a deal with the NFL because he had the phrase three-peat trademarked. He successfully phrased it when he and the Lakers were trying to win their third straight NBA title in 1989. The NFL just struck a deal with the Riles & Co. to use the phrase on merchandise if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Genius. Absolutely genius by Pat Riley. Yeah, cool. Give me 10% of all proceeds, of all profits. I mean, that's a lot. He's probably like, give me 3.5%.
Yeah, whatever it is. He's making money
Everything
from
you
nothing.
sell that has three-peat on it, I get 10% because I own the trademark.
Bro, this is genius. This is going to sound mean, and I don't mean it mean.
No, say it.
I'm saying it. But I want to preface it by I'm not picking on Riles, and I'm certainly not discriminating for age. However, take this money and just ride off into the sunset. I really feel that way. Like I'm just the Jimmy Butler drama has really shown me that Pat Riley has lost his fastball because his whole brand, even this move, the shrewd move of trademarking three-peat way back in the day, Pat Riley has always been demanding of respect, tough guy, the good looks, the Don, right?
Yeah.
I mean, between the Jimmy Butler stuff now, going back and forth, remember publicly he told Jimmy to shut up, and then now Jimmy's doing all. It's just like the Heat haven't been able since the Heatles broke up.
Yeah.
he hasn't really been able to get stars to Miami, which is kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But he hasn't. And so it's just like, all right, you made a couple finals with Butler and Bam. That clearly is over.
Yeah.
Just take this paper and just go relax on the beach, Riles, please.
But he can. He's in Miami.
Of course he can. That's what I mean.
And he still gets the checks from the Heat.
Just go chill. Like
I'm
he
with
needs
you.
to ride off in the sunset.
Because it is the everlasting image of Pat Riley being like the Godfather.
Yeah.
You know, the cool Mr.
Yes.
Slick back hair, Gucci
Yeah.
suits on the sidelines.
We can't have a Heat rebuild at the end of his career.
Deteriorating.
It's weird. It's.
I
get
just
outta
respect the foresight and seeing this.
Genius.
Like someone investing in prime real estate and saying, it's ugly now, but 20 years, you see the location of this thing? It's going to be big. Have the hindsight and rears his head around. He was going for it with the Lakers. Everyone's saying it. And instead of letting the Lakers even trademark it and be a part, no, he's like, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And I'll make proceeds off it
Smart.
whichever which way.
Smart.
Genius by him. And you know what's going to happen? MLB, NHL, NBA, it happens. He goes, yep, I own the trademark. You got to give me part of the proceeds on that.
Absolutely.
Anything licensed by any league or any team.
Genius move. Right off in the sunset. Him and Popovich both. I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, I'm
I
with
am.
you. Wemby and Fox are in San Antonio. Give him the young coach.
Yep.
Hey, you want the latest on the Patriots in the NFL? We'll tell you what Mike Vrabel and the Pats should do with the 4th pick in the NFL draft on Nesson's football podcast, Foxborough Rush. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else podcasts are found. All right, Trav, let's get into the Super Bowl prop bets. Coin toss, heads -104, tails -104. That's not fun.
Nah. I've
You got-
lost money betting.
Are you a
that. I don't do that
Gatorade,
anymore.
color Gatorade guy
No,
on the
I've
winning
lost, some of
coach?
these I've lost money betting on in the past, and I'll never go back.
National anthem?
Well, I used to get insider information on that, and I would bet that because I got insider information. That person now has been found out for giving insider information and is no longer with the company.
Who's it, Jonte Porter?
I cannot tell, but that's a great guess and very funny. So I won't be betting that this year because I don't have insider information.
Okay, I like it. Kendrick Lamar, first song. I think this one's a good one.
It is. I mean, he's such a sort of unpredictable artist. I don't know. I mean, Humble's the favorite, and it's a great starter. I will tell you this. Even though it's juicy, -160 is not the worst bet I've ever made for Not Like Us to be his last song. Because that's exactly what it's going to be. And poor Drake.
It's for the
wherever he
9th
is.
time in a row it's going to be that
Bro,
song.
this dude won a Grammy the other night, and everyone in the building was singing They Not Like Us word for word as he walked up to receive his award. I mean, they showed everybody. Taylor Swift, Beyonce, all word for word. Drake is just, this is a bad month for Drake, man. I'm sorry, brother. It's a bad month for you.
It's been a bad
It's been
Since June, bro.
It has, but this month in particular. Grammys, Super Bowl, back to back. My God.
Just stay inside.
Ugh.
I'm going to go first song ADHD, a little 5-1.
Yeah, that's fine.
Long
I
shot,
don't hate it.
hit.
Yeah.
But I do like that the last song is going to be Not Like Us for like
Yes.
the 8th time.
-160 is not terrible, bro. That should be -400.
What I like is a celebrity guest appearance in halftime.
Where are you going there?
J-Rock plus
Oh,
205.
I like that.
Win?
Yep.
How are they not going to perform that
such
song?
a great sports song. All right, I'll one up you. A little more gambly. Taylor Swift plus 750.
How do you not, unless the budget can't afford it? Because
Well,
she ain't doing nothing for free.
Okay, well here's the thing. I would normally agree with you if they didn't have a song together. It's a smash hit.
Yeah.
And her boo wasn't playing in the game.
I don't think she does it. But
I
at
would
plus
bet-
750,
plus
it's a good bet.
750. I'll take a little sprinkle.
Yes. Lil Wayne plus 185. Yeah, no.
I don't think Wayne's doing it because even if they offered it to him, he was so hurt at not being invited to do
Yeah.
this.
It's like, nah, I don't want your
Because it's
pity,
his city
pity
and all
booking.
that. Yeah, I could see Wayne being like, "No, I'm good, thanks."
How many diss tracks will Kendrick Lamar sing about Drake? Now, does the same song count?
No, it's well, one plus means more than Not Like Us, right? So like Not Like Us.
But what
is
if he
obviously
performs
gonna
Not
be
Like
played.
Us like 4 times?
Then no, you wouldn't get paid. But there's other songs. What was that? A whole summer it felt like.
Yeah.
where they went back and forth. Euphoria, I know, is a big one. He could do it. 616 in L.A. Euphoria is probably the biggest one, though, that would get played because that was the most popular until They Not Like Us came out.
Yeah.
But I actually weirdly think because of the Grammys and because of this stage, and he's going to do They Not Like Us, I could see Kendrick easing up on Drake a bit. I think he only does They Not Like Us. I'd be willing to bet. I don't think he kicks him out. He's down.
He wanted to sue Kendrick for pumping the numbers. Bro, you bury him at that point. I'll go 3+ at plus 210.
3?
Yeah.
Then this halftime show is gonna suck. I'm sorry.
Bro, no, it's not.
Yeah, it is. If it's a
Are you
Drake
kidding me?
diss the whole time,
you're gonna be on the couch like, oh, we're gonna be watching it together.
we'll
You're
watch
gonna be like,
together.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not gonna feel that, bro. It's too much. Like,
No,
bro,
it's not.
you already beat.
No, it's
you
not.
won. You already beat him.
It's fun to dance on people's graves sometimes.
Hey, well, listen, if he does
you
that,
are the hater of the
I
century.
am. And I still think it'd be too petty.
No.
Bro,
You're
if he
the
does,
petty king.
If he does, no, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
If he does what you're
He's the
saying,
petty king.
He's the petty king.
And it's fine with it. Get you one
Man.
more dub.
I don't want that. His catalog's good enough to not do that, by the way. Like, he could just do They Not Like Us at the end.
He doesn't care.
He's got hits, dog.
He hates this guy.
He hates him.
He hates him. Hate is more powerful than love.
Facts. Bro, that's dancing on his grave. If he does 3+,
which he's done. Bro, he held a concert in LA and they played Not Like Us 9 times in a row.
That's real hate. He's the new King Petty.
Drake's going to be in New Orleans hanging out with the Saints owners.
Oh.
Get it? And they're going to be watching Not Like Us is going to come on.
Come on, man. I'm a Drake fan, man.
A
Don't
minor.
do this, man. Don't do this. I'm a Drake fan. Drake.
No, you're not doing this, bro.
Drake.
You clown me for being a J. Cole fan. You still support Drake. He sued the guy. He sued him. You can't return from that.
What did you say? It was a Karen move?
Yes. You know what my dad does? That's what that was. My father will have a word with you. Bro, and it was forgotten.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer.
Yeah, and it was like everyone moved on. It's like, I'm going to sue you. Like, what?
All right, would you take this bet? Will Drake release a song on Super Bowl Sunday? Because he's petty. Plus 370 for yes.
No.
I like that.
No. Leave it unscathed, man. Don't do it.
Just to sit it out.
Because what's that song going to be? If it's
true,
if it's about Kendrick or not, Kendrick's going to take it as a slight, and then it's going to be Not Like Us 15 straight times. Bro, let it slide.
Gosh. So Drake needs to let it go, but Kendrick can just keep doing what he wants.
Yes.
What a hypocrisy this is.
It's not hypocrisy.
It really is.
Eh.
I'm sorry, Drake. You deserve better. But you did lose. I mean, you lost. So you gotta take your L, however. But
you know what I love is that the prop bets conversation about the Super Bowl, like coin toss, like, yeah. Gatorade,
But
Anthem,
But this.
Yes.
Well, because
we're dissecting this.
Bro, I've lost money on the coin toss bet's really stupid.
You can't predict that.
No, you can't. And by the way, these bets in general, the real degens like me already know you can't go crazy with them, but they're just fun.
Yep.
It is fun. Like some of them I made, even in losing, it's kind of fun. But, if you're setting your Super Bowl Sunday and you're deciding I want to bet today and you're doing it with a Gatorade, what color Gatorade you're doing, maybe you need to hang out with a degen to just learn the lay of the land a little bit.
I just got Eagles future win Super Bowl. Hedged, laid the points with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Sit back, relax.
Smart.
But I'm going to take 3+ at plus 210.
Oh.
For the diss tracks.
The plot thickens.
Well, that and I like that J-Rock number.
I like that too.
You know what's fun about Massachusetts, though? Can't bet on them.
Can't bet it.
Can't do prop bets.
Yep. Can bet the game.
Yes.
But
not prop bets.
Not prop bets.
Not these types of props.
Not
I
the
think
they're
game,
called
the
novelty.
Gatorades. Yeah, exactly.
Novelty props, right?
Massachusetts, they make you pay an excise tax.
Right.
But they don't let you make novelty prop bets.
You can gamble, but not all the way.
everything.
Yeah. It's very Parcells, right? They want you to make the meal, but you can't shop
pick out
for
the groceries.
Yeah.
See, that's
Bill was onto something.
He saw it. Now we're dealing with it.
Facts.
This is Robert Kraft's on the way out. So, we'll see. And I told you guys we always have Ringside Report, but first, for a full preview of men's Bean Pop Finals, check out Thursday's episode of Nesson's Hockey Hub podcast. It's myself and Adam Pellerin on that one. You can find it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else you get your podcasts. And now, here to our guys, Athan and Jason with the Ringside Report.
Welcome into another edition of Ringside Review. I am Athan Hristodulu, joined alongside Jason Ounpraseuth of Nesson.com. He writes about wrestling. He has interviewed people about wrestling. Welcome to another show, Jason. How are you doing today?
Very excited. Big show we got here after a very big WWE show. Lots of interesting things that happened last Saturday in Indianapolis. So we're ready to get into it.
Absolutely. Royal Rumble was hot. There was a lot of reacting going on. And then Monday Night Raw, the follow-up, Raw after the Rumble, also had a lot going on as well. First thing I want to focus on, though, we'll talk a little bit just about the Royal Rumble quickly here. It's obviously been a few days since it's happened, but just thoughts, takeaways. Charlotte Flair wins the women's match. Jey Uso wins the men's match. Seems like the internet scathing at the fact that Charlotte Flair has won herself another title opportunity. Me personally, I'm okay with it. I actually enjoy the better than you shtick that she has had going on for the last handful of years. I feel like wrestling needs that. So I honestly was fine with her coming back and doing it. It matches what her character is. And then Jey Uso obviously winning. I don't think anyone saw that coming. Jason, I don't know if you predicted that anywhere, but I mean, I'm here for it, I think. I kind of like the fact that WWE was so willing to kind of just go out on a limb and run with something like this and go with the not obvious answer in John Cena that a lot of people seem to be really high on. What do you think?
Starting with the women's side, I'm kind of with you. I don't really mind Charlotte winning the Rumble again. I honestly just kind of laughed that she did. It just seemed to make sense. I think it really just exemplifies their women's division, how like they kind of are lacking in big stars. Becky Lynch didn't come back either. It kind of made sense. You don't want to double dip in that aspect there, and so you kind of need a big star to really get that division going, especially for Rhea Ripley. I'm sure we'll get into that with her segment on Raw as well. And so I don't really mind for Charlotte. For Jey, that's a bit, as you said, controversial, because for me, I'm not the biggest Jey Uso guy. I understand, his entrance, it's the big marketing point for WWE. Like, you should be going to WWE shows to do the yeeting with Jey Uso. but for me personally, I'm a person who values the in-ring storytelling of wrestling, and for Jey Uso, he doesn't really do it for me. I do understand from your perspective that WWE is making a big gamble on Jey Uso, having him have this storyline of overcoming the odds, and they're really hyping up his sort of rise in WWE. He's been in the company for 10 years, very Kofi Kingston kind of asked of getting his time, and so it's a big gamble. I'm curious because he had that SummerSlam match against Roman Reigns and his WrestleMania match against Jimmy Uso. Those matches were kind of flops for me personally, and so he's getting another big stage here for WrestleMania, and so it's a big stage, a big challenge for him that they're confident he can at least answer.
Yeah. Interesting about your thought on the Roman Reigns match that he had. I was actually a fan of that, but that's something we can get into a different time, focusing on the Rumble here. My question to you now, the one that obviously kind of got teased a bit and you alluded to just a second ago, WrestleMania opponents. We got a promo with Gunther between him and Jey. We got the promo with Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. I, for one, honestly feel like Jey and Gunther is the end result of this Royal Rumble win. It's just the one that makes sense in what they're building towards. I don't see how unless they're going to turn Cody heel on Jey Uso, which I just don't feel like Jey Uso has enough star power for that turn to warrant. I don't think that's going to be the end result there. And then for the Charlotte Flair Rhea Ripley thing, the internet's been very, very heavy on eventually seeing Charlotte go up against Tiffany Stratton, and that's kind of where I thought that whole thing was going. As soon as I saw her win, I was like, oh, okay, so the internet's on this one here. Charlotte, Tiffany, we get it at WrestleMania. I understand where they're coming from. But then we get Rhea Ripley last night. I honestly wasn't expecting that. And maybe that's shame on me for not remembering, the history. These two have a 1-1 record against each other on the biggest stage. Are you good with the rubber match? Because honestly, I kind of am, and I almost want that more than I want I want a definitive decision between those two. And maybe that's just me, but I'm curious to hear what you think on that.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. Like, I do want a rubber match between these two. I mean, Michael Cole mentioned it that they stole the show the last time they wrestled at WrestleMania.
39 was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was amazing, and it really established Rhea as a big star. And I kind of feel like she's kind of lost her momentum a bit, minus the title win. I think during that Liv Morgan summer feud, there's a lot of shenanigans going around, a lot more comedy with the Dominic Mysterio aspect, and just more about Liv Morgan than Rhea Ripley, minus the title win that Rhea had on the Netflix debut. And so I think having a feud with Charlotte can really center her back into being the big star of the promotion for the women's division. And having Charlotte there as well, again, like I mentioned before, she's elevating the star power of the women's division. And I think having a match with Rhea does her better than having one with Tiffany Stratton, who's still she's great in her own right, but still a little bit newer to the main event scene.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like if they go the Tiffany way, it's going to be about building Tiffany up, and I don't know if after having Charlotte come back the way she did, and honestly, her promo was a bit, I don't want to say awkward, was just weird to see her try to play that face card early and then just kind of go, I'm the woman, respect me kind of deal, essentially, after the fact. I just thought they were going to go gung-ho on that. So I feel like you can't have what they're trying to build with Charlotte right now after bringing her back after such a long, extended absence and try to just pit her against an up-and-coming rising star. I feel like the money match is literally give me the decision between Rhea and Charlotte. Two people that, especially early on in Rhea's days, before she changed her look completely, it was one of those, she was like the mini Charlotte, the up-and-coming next Charlotte kind of deal. So like that's something I'm invested in, and I've loved both of their matches. And correct me if I'm wrong on this, the first time they met, that was the COVID Mania, right? That was the year that there was nobody there.
Yeah.
And that was still a pretty good match, despite the fact that it was in front of literally nobody. So I definitely want to see a decision on that one. The Jey Uso thing is just, for me, it really is just a matter of, I don't know where it's going to go. So I don't really want to sit here and speculate on like the direction. I'm assuming it's Gunther and him, but like, I never thought we were going to be in this position to begin with. So that is the Rumble discussion. There were a couple of Elimination Chamber notes to be had on Monday night as well, though, and I want to ask you about this. And before we get into it, there were some technical issues that I think spoiled the main event of Raw in what happened at the end when CM Punk took down Sami Zayn to get his spot in the Elimination Chamber. I literally did not know what was happening at the end of that match. I don't know how bad the glitching and the stuttering and the buffering was for you, but it went from Punk celebrating for me to I had black for a good few seconds, and next thing I know, Kevin Owens is in the ring and Sami Zayn's down. So I didn't even know what actually happened. And it wasn't until I looked back after the fact that we saw that. And I'm surprised that it took 5 weeks to get there, but Netflix kind of had its first big oopsies, and I'm disappointed that it was kind of bad in the middle part of the show, and it felt like all hell broke loose in the main event at the end there.
Yeah, I mean, I had a similar experience to you. I think it's just probably for most of us worldwide of that blackout screen and just not really understanding like what was said in the ring. Clearly, Punk was Sami Zayn. They were talking in the ring at the same time. I'm curious whether like there's a viewership spike because of the new interest in WWE. The post Royal Rumble bump that they got compared to the past couple episodes of Raw were kind of just mundane episodes of Raw. There wasn't really much going on. It was more building up towards the next show and to the next to the Royal Rumble. Yeah. And so now you're bringing in this new audience, telling them to watch the next show, and then now like they can't watch it because it's all glitchy and they don't know, they can't hear what's going on.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a frustrating thing, and I'm curious to see how Netflix handles that, but it was just a spoiler to what was otherwise a fun main event. And as I just mentioned, CM Punk defeating Sami Zayn. He's in the Elimination Chamber now. On the flip side of things, for the women's side, Liv Morgan defeats Io Sky via disqualification due to interference from Rhea Ripley, getting her way into the Elimination Chamber, continuing to be a thorn in Rhea Ripley's side. I want to hear your thoughts on both these two winning and who they beat to keep out of the Elimination Chamber here, because now it feels like Sami Zayn's about to go gung-ho in something with Kevin Owens, and I think that might be leading to something towards WrestleMania, and we're actually going to wrap the show segment with that. But before we get into that, CM Punk, he's in, Sami Zayn's out. Liv Morgan taking out Io Sky, somebody that a lot of people liked for the Rumble and now is missing the Elimination Chamber. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I thought Liv Morgan, it seemed like she was moving on to at least away from the title scene for at least a couple months, at least until the summer break, until we can get a new fresh crop of stars coming in. But yeah, she's still in the title scene. That's kind of interesting to me. For Io Sky, I can see her challenging Tiffany Stratton, maybe just moving back to SmackDown perhaps, because as we mentioned, if Charlotte's going to Rhea Ripley, Tiffany doesn't really have many challengers up ahead for her, and so I could definitely see her moving on to something else, at least something title related, because they definitely are very high on her with the spots that she had and just the placement that she has in the Rumble as well. And I don't think this might be the last of Io Sky, especially with the confrontation she had with Rhea Ripley. There might be something else going on in the future.
Maybe they put Rhea Ripley in. And this is something I'm curious to see about too, because the WWE, the way they've shaped things, this has been like, it feels like whoever won the Rumble was going to face the current champion at WrestleMania, and like the titles won't be on the line, but maybe Io finds her way in a title match that Rhea Ripley probably ends up winning at Elimination Chamber, something like that. But that was definitely an interesting wrinkle to the whole entire thing, because like you said, clearly upset on Io Sky's end, and I did not anticipate Liv Morgan qualifying via disqualification in any way. Obviously, I know that they had a run-in earlier in the night, so surprise, them two hating each other and it leading to that. I guess in hindsight, it's 2020, but just not the direction I thought that was going to go. Now, CM Punk being in the Elimination Chamber, we're in for another star-studded affair on the men's side of things with this, because CM Punk's going to be in. He obviously keeps out Sami Zayn, who's going to be dealing with, it seems like, Kevin Owens going forward. Just off the top right now, you have to pick John Cena, who basically got a free entry into the Rumble based off of what was like a lukewarm heel thing that he kind of did at the press conference that they had after the Royal Rumble. If you're picking between CM Punk and John Cena to win that Elimination Chamber match, with the promo that Punk had last week, and then now with Cody, and now Cena, who is clearly hell-bent on winning a 17th World Championship and is all business going forward, who are you taking between just those two alone? Just because I'm curious.
I think between those two, I would take John Cena. I think because from the Rumble, there's a lot of tensions going on between Roman Reigns and CM Punk, and I think that might be the direction that they want to go. I know like there's a bit of like a storyline kind of injury with Roman Reigns with the curb stomp that he took. He's out for a couple months, but still like it's a very vague timeline for Roman Reigns. He can already just come back whenever he wants. And I don't think that's the last we've seen between Punk and Reigns. And so I think Cena is probably the better opponent if we're suggesting that Jey Uso is going to take on Gunther. If someone's going to take on Cody, I think John Cena is probably the better opponent. I think you see the desperations of their matches and just their storylines. I think that could probably has a better formula between those two.
I like that. That's actually a really good way to put that. Especially the desperation point you had there, because it feels like Cody is having some of that kind of go on with himself right now. Cena in the same boat. They're both, one's desperate to hang on to what he's been doing. The other one is desperate to take it from him. So I do like that angle. Now, with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, I wanted to touch on this before we jump out of here. WrestleMania match, we're going to have two friends blow it all off. At this point, Kevin Owens has turned on Sami Zayn more times than I can count in my life. So is this where we're heading? Is that what that was all about?
Unfortunately, Athan, I think it is. I say unfortunately because I've been watching these guys wrestle each other for, it feels like a decade and a half, like almost half of my lifehood. These guys have been fighting in Ring of Honor, their ladder wars, just PWG, just all their matches, even WWE, NXT, like they've just had matches constantly. I know they always try to find a way to spice things up, to really change up their rivalry, but really, like we're just going for Owens and Zayn again because I guess Owens, we gave him that fake championship, the Eagle
Yes.
title, and then for Sami Zayn, WWE, they don't really see him as a world title guy, but just more flirting in the world title picture, which is why he had that elimination match with CM Punk, but still, like, it just feels like, these guys don't have anything. Let's just have a feud again for, like you said, Athan, just the 10th time, it feels like.
Yeah, it unfortunately seems like that's where we're heading. I guess I could say I'm like excited to see it happen at Mania now and see if they can finally wrap that arc that's been literally going on for years up. But I guess we'll see where this wrestling road takes us. But that is another edition of Ringside Review from me, from Jason. As always, thank you all for joining us. Appreciate you for hanging out and talking some wrestling. Looking forward to talking to you all again real soon.
Shout out Athan and Jace, man. They keep teaching us about the good gospel of the Ringside Report,
they do.
WWE, man.
Yep.
Hey, he's Travis Thomas. I'm George Balekji. This was Boston Has Entered the Chat. Appreciate you guys making us a part of your day. Wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime, make sure to like, subscribe, download, rate, and review. Watch on Nesson's YouTube page. Hit the subscribe button and email us to the chat at Nesson.com. GB, Double T. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good one, everyone.